สวัสดีค่ะ and good morning. Welcome to Morning Thailand. I'm Wanasan Krehong.
And I'm Palada Moksiri.
Now, of course, Kunbo, this morning there's a lot of updates and news to report, like always. But to start things off this morning, there has been a report of a fire yesterday that broke out. Quite unfortunate. It took almost 2 hours to actually be able to control the fire itself. This took place in Khon Kaen. It was the commercial buildings and it was a two-story buildings, mind you. They say that after the fire has died down, after 2 hours of trying to make sure that the fire does not expand it any further, but it's quite cover a large area. As you can see there, they are working very hard trying to make sure that the fire will be contained. They say that this particular buildings, which pretty much situated around the area of a market, so is right in the town, in the heart of the town in Khon Kaen province. They say that the building itself is over 40 years old, and with the wind chill that seems to expand the fire even further, they ended up saying that the damage would cost about 100 million baht. And as for the reason why the fire started, at this point they are trying to look into the bottom of things still. However, they say that a lot of people are suffering from this particular event, and due to the fact that 2 hours of fire is quite a bit. Now they say that in Thailand newspaper said 100 million baht in damages, but in Bangkok Post reported only 50 million. So I guess it depends on where and how you estimate the damage itself. And they say that the Khon Kaen police has came out and say that despite the fact that this particular fire actually took place in the commercial area, luckily no one was injured, and they say that the fire started on the second floor of a rubber stamp shop and spread very quickly. Firefighter took quite a bit of time, in this case 2 hours, before they can make sure that they get everything under control. And at this point, at least 15 households or families are left without a home, and they set up already a temporary shelters for them, which is only 800 meters away from the scene of the fire itself. At this point, a lot of rescue teams or packages are going in to try to help them. So if you're in the area, if you're in Khon Kaen, and you would like to help them out, it's not that far from the heart of the city. So you can actually probably would be able to go in and provide them with some help. If you can.
Yes, and I'm also sure that the victims of the fire can also seek for the assistance and aid as well as help from the Khon Kaen province itself, right?
And this is one other thing too, in Thailand, don't forget, we're not really used to the idea of having insurance. So I think that the damage might even be quite a bit, because the family probably would not get any compensation either. So it's just a very sad news. But as to what happened, they still have to investigate a little bit further.
Okay, well, moving away from that now, let's take a look at one of the drug busts that were going on in the country in two separate cases in two provinces here as well. And this time, this was from the Narcotics Suppression Bureau. And I believe that they have already given their press announcement for the capturing of at least some of the drug dealers that were involved in the network or the drug ring, both in Songkhla as well as Chumphon provinces. So two separate cases there. Now, the details have it here that at the Narcotics Suppression Bureau, along with their press conference there, they have with them the capturing of Chan Chai or Bird Chai Nim, age 26 years old, along with the confiscation of the methamphetamine pills or yaba, and that's amounting up to 12,000 pills. They also confiscated a motorcycle, and afterwards they realized, after investigation, that he belonged to one of the networks or the drug networks of Somphon or Bang or Sua Prung Got. which is a big drug agent down in the south. Now, apart from that, the officials actually set up the sting operation to try to capture him. And they followed him to one of the petrol stations on the Petkasem Road, along with going on to the TC Auto, which is another place near the Lopburi Damet Road as well in Songkhla province, until eventually they revealed themselves and they tried to capture him. So they were able to only capture Tanchai there, but as for Chumphon, he was able to fled the scene. Now, apart from that, they went to the house of Chumphon. They found 175,000 or so pills of these methamphetamine pills. Also, ice amounting up to around 1,733.78 grams, and also a .45 pistol, along with ammunition. And they took in custody his girlfriend, identified here as 26-year-old Khon Kaen or Pui Mongkon Sin. And apart from that, they also realized that he also belonged to the Songkhla prison drug network at the moment. So that was the case that occurred in Songkhla. As for another case that occurred in Chumphon province here, they were able to try to follow up to Sun Ki Fli Timung, age 27 years old, and also Asuha Samot, age 27, along with 300,000 of the crystal meth, I believe. And this was after they got a tip-off that there would be the drug smuggling trade from Bangkok all the way down to the south. And they followed them to the Petkasem Road in Chumphon province. And they had, of course, their police checkpoint. They found that there was a pickup truck that looked kind of suspicious. They asked it to park, and they basically found that there were some drugs that were hidden under a pile of coconuts that were inside the pickup truck. So that's when they were able to capture the other lot there. So two particular provinces, two lots of drugs that were confiscated by the police at this time.
Right. Now, moving on from the drugs, more violence to report from the south. Unfortunately, it seems like I have to report about the violence in the south quite regularly, and we are trying to hope for peace down there, because obviously, apart from a lot of issues that we are facing right now, southern violence is still there and cannot be ignored. There has been a report of, once again, an explosion from Khun Bo, and this particular case, once again, is believed to be done by the insurgent. The bomb was planted in a motorcycle that was parked near the trade fair that is ongoing. So you can imagine there are a lot of people in the area. Sometimes we reported about the situation where the bomb was planted or detonated near the school, but this time it's a trade fair, so it's involved quite a bit of people and the crowd. They say that it's reported yesterday at about 2:20 p.m. in the afternoon in the Rangat district of Narathiwat province, and they say that due to this particular explosion, one ranger was killed instantly at the scene, and he is Sergeant Major Khon Kaen. Him, along with his team, these is a canine patrol team. So the team would have all the dogs sniffing for the explosion itself, the bomb itself that might be planted. But at this point, they say that the 7 people were injured from this particular incident as well. Now, according to the report, 5 of them were rangers, but 2 of them is the bystander, it's the villagers that happen to walk around the area. They say that when they get to the scene, what they found is the Honda motorcycle, the red in color, and they say that inside the motorcycle itself, where they normally put all the, I guess you can put all your accessories or whatever you have, your belongings underneath the seat of the motorcycle. They say that the bomb that planted in the motorcycle was actually weighed 15 kilograms in the gas cylinder, 15 kilograms. So that's quite big. That's why it's expanded and cover quite large area. They say that the particular motorcycle was actually parked not far from the district center of Rangak, and they say that opposite of the district center or the building, the trade fair was ongoing. So this trade fair is quite normal in the provinces, pretty much give all the villagers a chance to buy goods in a cheaper price. So you can imagine that there are a lot of people. And this particular patrol team led using the canine to sniff around in the area, making sure that there's not going to be any bomb planted in the trade fair itself. However, it seems like when they got really close to the motorcycle, the bomb was detonated, and that's injured 7 and killed 1 ranger. Now they say that according to the report in Bangkok itself, at the government house yesterday, there also an incident where the authority is trying their best to make sure that this type of incident would not happen again. They say that there's a report from the government that they get to meet with the Malaysian facilitator that came to Thailand. These particular facilitators is actually working closely with the peace talk forming. His name is Dato Sri Ahmad Samsamin Hasim, and he came and met with a group of Thai officials, including police major general, police general, excuse me, sorry, trying to get his title right, Police General Prata Promnok. Of course, he's the one that led the peace talk dialogue. We are still hoping for the 4th one, and we are planning for that. Apparently, according to the report after the meeting, they say that at this point, it seems like a little bit more of the insurgent group would like to join the peace talk itself, which is a good thing. We know that for sure BRN, the Barisan Revolusi Nasional, the BRN is already in, but they say that apart from the BRN, we will get Pulo as well, and that was one of the interesting, I guess, faction that will be joining us. But another one that just popped up, the name is, let me see here, Barisan Islam Pembebasan Patani, or BIP.
Okay, so that's the latest faction. Okay.
Apart from PULO, which is Patani United Liberation Organization. So it seems like at this point, altogether will be 15 representatives from various factions that would join. BIP will get about 1 representative into this peace talk, and PULO will get 2. And BRN is already in there. I'm not quite sure what the others might be, but they say that they are trying to get the peace talk done. It will not happen this month, unfortunately, because it's too early. So probably early December, we can look for the 4th round of peace talk, and then we're going to report to you a little bit more on that.
Okay, well, just, it's better late than never. It's better than not hearing the news about any progress or any movement whatsoever with what's going on with that case. But still, now to move on to some lighter news before we head for a break, I believe. And this is, since it's a little bit chilly already, the cold season coming on, right? And lots of tourists have actually been quite excited to see the very first frost that's all the way in the northern region. And this is, in Thai we call it the Makaning, right? Which is the frost that we see at the mountain tops and also along the roads, I believe.
On top of the grass.
That's right, giving a very exciting view for the tourist. I guess that's why. And of course, temperatures have been reported to be dropping in several provinces as well, apart from Chiang Mai and also Chiang Rai.
Oh, you can see the frost there.
Right? On both sides of the roads, and people would be parking, stopping by so that they can, take a picture of it.
Mind you, I mean, if you're from the cold country, you're probably not getting too excited about this because you've seen snow before. But for Thailand, we hardly ever seen snow.
Once a year?
We have seen in some place, and that was quite shocking already. But this is like the closest we get from the snow.
Exactly. And just to add more details to that, in particular, I think in some of the areas, the temperatures have been dropping as low as only 4 degrees Celsius, which is really cold. And this is in the Chiang Mai province. Now, apart from that, like I said, the same thing's going on in Chiang Rai as well. There's a sea of fog, while lots of the other provinces, such as the provinces, like I've mentioned, will be having some of the activities in order to welcome the cold season. Now, there's also some concerning issues with Lamphun and Phayao provinces where the cold has been getting to the people, and people have fallen ill a little bit in those provinces too. But just to mention Chiang Mai province first here, for the very first views of the Mae Kan Ning, and it's been said to be all the way up at the Doi Inthanon, which is the highest mountaintop, right, in Chiang Mai province, and they say that it has one of the most beautiful sights as well. And by the way, the national park there has also come out to say that the best sightseeing areas around that, the mountaintop, it's all registered, all booked to almost next year already.
Wow.
Yeah, because, the upcoming new year.
That's true.
Great atmosphere. Of course, lots of people will be booking, the best spots that they can get. And apart from that, let's take a look at Chiang Rai province a bit. It's starting to get a little bit chilly for them as well. A couple of days now into the third day, I believe, such as at Phu Chi Pha or at Doi Tung. And temperature's been dropping to only 14 degrees Celsius. They can see some fog as well in the area. And for safety, people who are driving in the area also have to have their lights on all the time, of course, because the fog is quite thick. So it could be dangerous for them. Meanwhile, the governor of Chiang Rai province here, Wanchai Jongsutanamani, has come out to say that they will be having several activities. Some flower kind of activities will be held in the province, along with the upcoming Loi Krathong Day activity. They will be having this one in November, between the 15th to the 18th. So if you're in Chiang Rai province, you will definitely get to join in on that activity. And it will be at the Suan Tung and also Khom in Chiang Rai. So those are the two provinces that have been welcoming the cold season, but like I said, for Lamphun and Phayao, it's not really good for them at the moment. For the people there, especially kids and also the elderly, they have been affected by the cold. The temperature has dropped to 19 to 20 degrees Celsius, but they're not used to it, of course. Unlike people who are in Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai, I'm assuming that the cold season maybe be a little bit longer for them there. And in Phayao province, the same thing. Temperatures dropping as well continuously, while there have been reports about some respiratory illnesses for the people there. And I believe that every single year, lots of the private companies would be asking for donations of blankets. And this time it's the same thing as well. During this time of year for Thai beverage, they say that they're asking to donate at least 2,000 blankets for people in the province, in Phayao province, to help at least 13,000 people. So they're a lot more short. But, the more donation they can get, the better.
That's good. So with that, let's take a short break, because when we come back, we have a lot more interesting updates, especially in terms of demonstrations around town. And from the red shirts themselves finally came out and pressed their point. And I have a little bit more updates in terms of around the border area with Cambodia and how they prepared for the ICJ's ruling. So please stay tuned.